Good morning again, folks. We will convene the Fayette County Commissioners meeting Tuesday, June 17th, 2014 at 10:02 a.m. Please stand for a moment of silent prayer. Please stand for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can you start a new meeting without adjourning the last meeting?
Please wait for public comment. I would like to consider amending the agenda to add a proclamation for the 100th birthday of Ida Mae Alsop.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And, I'm going to assume that Ida Mae is not here, so I'll just read the proclamation. It's the Office of the Commissioners, Fayette County, PA. This is for the happy 100th birthday. Ida Mae Alsop, born the 4th day of July, 1914 in the city of Connellsville, PA. Graduated from Connellsville Area High School, wife of James Alsop, mother of 1 daughter, and caretaker of 4 children. Woman of deep faith and steward to her church and community. The Office of the Fayette County Commissioners would like to congratulate you and wish you a 100th birthday. Happy birthday. The second proclamation is for the Fayette County 211 kickoff proclamation. Do we have someone here for, please, Ron? You want to read it?
No, you guys feel free. You guys go ahead.
I don't. The Fayette County 211 kickoff proclamation, whereas 211 became the federally designated number to be used for informational, referral, and access to non-emergency health and human services in the year 2000. And whereas 211 reaches approximately 270 million people, 90% of the total U.S. population, covering all 50 states, the District of Columbia, and Puerto Rico. And whereas 211, or PA 211, was launched in 2006 as a statewide collaborative for health and human service information for Pennsylvania, and whereas PA 211 Southwest was launched in the summer of 2011 and serves 11 counties in southwestern Pennsylvania, including Fayette County. Whereas PA 211 Southwest connects people with community, housing, health, and disaster services through a free 24/7 confidential phone service and searchable online database. Excuse me. And whereas 211 is available to help our Fayette County residents reach the human services and community resources that can assist in their everyday needs and in times of crisis. Therefore, we, the Fayette County Commissioners, do hereby declare PA 211 Southwest, powered by United Way, to be utilized in Fayette County effective June 17, 2014, and strongly supports the efforts of 211 promptly and efficiently aid the needs of the citizens of Fayette County. Signed by the Board of Commissioners.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Would you like to say a few words?
Yes, he would.
That would be me. Thank you very much. ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot of information that goes along with 211. It is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and there's a real person that asks you, how can we help? And we have over 22,000 services listed in the database. We currently work in 11 counties, the whole way to Mercer, and you're as far south as we go in Pennsylvania, obviously, from Indiana to Beaver. So that 11 county region is where we're working at in southwestern Pennsylvania. We're considered the strongest PA 211 in the state. And we have a lot of health and human services agencies that are already working with us, from anything from food to finding summer camps for children, rental assistance. The beauty of 211 is that it is not driven by income. It's if you have a need. The same as you would call 911 for an emergency, you may call the 211 number and get information. I know many people have called around for health and human service information. I have an aging parent. I don't know where to turn to. What sources are available to help? And 211 has all the information at their fingertips. They'll send it to you. They'll talk to you. They'll provide 24-hour coverage. So feel free to call back if you don't get the service you're looking for. So just having that one-on-one connection with somebody, the United Way uses this information. We gather information from this. We can share with your county commissioners, and I have some reports to share with them today. It talks about what are the needs in your community. Why are people calling and reaching out for services? And so it kind of gives them a tell of where they need to look at where they need to provide service. So that information is available. It's available on our website as well. The website is pa211sw.org. Again, it's pa211sw.org. And that is free, and a lot of individuals use it. It's open to the public. If anyone has any questions, we'll be here. You're welcome to reach out. And I do a lot of presentations, as does Tom. I don't see Tom. Where's Tom? There's Tom back in the back. Tom is working within the community here as well. So if you have any questions, reach any of us, and we'll be glad to help you.
How long has this been operational?
In this area, it's been operational over 3 years.
Oh, wow.
Right, and so the information, we were getting our feet wet, and so as we gathered data and information from the agencies, we wanted to roll it out. Now we went public with it. We also have a great agreement with your 911 center in Fayette County, who basically says on a good day they do this at 911 and we do this at 211. On a bad day, we're available to them that they can call upon us to take non-emergency calls. So that provides help for them as well, to keep them from getting bombarded with a lot of calls and let them get down to business. All right. Great questions. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
We greatly appreciate it.
Great
Thank you
service.
very much.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, is there a motion to accept the proclamations?
Move.
Second.
All those in favor? Item number 4, are there any public comments on any of the agenda items?
Can you start a new meeting without adjourning the last meeting? What's
Mr.
the
Cup,
proper
could you address
procedure?
Mrs. Mazza's question?
Whenever you don't have a quorum, that's all you can do is either adjourn or recess or set a time to adjourn. So I do not have minutes of what occurred at the last meeting,
Well, 2 commissioners got up and walked out.
and you didn't have a quorum.
Right. But there was no adjournment, no recess, nothing. So as far as the way I read the rules, that meeting is still in progress.
Mr. Solicitor,
Yes, sir.
point of question. Because the agenda reads, and I don't know.
You
just
have adjournment listed in your agenda.
That is correct. I wanted to ask that question.
Yeah. So So if the agenda proceeded, the adjournment occurred whether you announced it or not.
Once they got up and walked out, nothing happened. And I believe that when there's public comment in a meeting, the governing body cannot get up and walk out as long as there's public comment in progress.
Well, people can come and go as they please, whether or not they should is a different question.
But not when you have a business meeting, like a school board or a commissioner. As long as there's public comment according to the rules, they're supposed to stay there till the public comment is over.
They didn't have a meeting once they lost their quorum.
But they lost the quorum because they got up and walked out.
Yeah,
And the adjournment listed in the agenda would then take precedent?
it would occur
It would occur. That's my understanding.
without.
But it's illegal for them to get up and walk out during public comment.
The chairman
That's
has,
not covered in the rules.
Sunshine.
Not in there either.
Is there any public comment on any agenda?
yes, Mike.
I'll chime in on what Mrs. Mazur was saying. I was the guy that you guys walked out on while I was making my comments. You guys walked out. First, Commissioner Zavatowski, you walked out, and then Mr. Ambrosini, you walked out.
Okay.
There was no adjournment.
You have 3 minutes.
Again, please, let's try to proceed with the meeting and in a manner.
And so far as you guys like to,
You-
so far as you're asking for some decorum and everything, I think it is very rude to walk out on citizens when they give comments. It's once a month. You can stay here and listen to people's comments. Agenda items under Commissioners, number 18. Consider approval of an agreement with Dunbar Township Sanitary Authority to provide sewage for the, what do we call it nowadays, the Taj Mahal?
I prefer to call it the Fayette County Justice and Rehabilitation.
But you can call it whatever you want.
Okay, I appreciate that. It says here, as attached. Can you give me a dollar figure on it? Because I have an agenda that I just got 3 minutes before the meeting, and then I don't have anything attached to it. It says, as attached.
Yes.
How can the citizens come before you and ask questions on agenda items like this if we don't have the information? Now, you have an agenda meeting a week before the meeting. Should that agenda not be made available online? Can you not post that to your website so the citizens who take time
I
out
have
of their schedule to come here?
I have no problems posting it. Take it to Kevin, the IT staffer, and ask him if he could, if I get the acknowledgement from the other 2 commissioners, put it online. It's fine with me.
I just think that as an order of business, if there's 136,000 people out there living in this county that want to review the agenda, maybe that should be posted. And I believe that, didn't you and Commissioner Zimmerlink agree to that, or agree to that in concept previously?
I have no problems with it. I mean, put it on.
Because it's you know,
I don't know how myself.
I happen to get the last agenda. If there was 10 more citizens that walked in behind me, they wouldn't have an agenda. And the one I have does not have something that you're voting on it that it says it has.
You want to see it, Mike? See, this is, I got the first one.
This has a resolution?
Well, it has data. I don't know if that's what you're missing.
Yeah, I don't have that.
I have no problems with that.
This was one of the
Mr. Kevin.
first
Run it up. I mean, I think it's important to have information out there. We don't try to hide it, it's published.
What's the dollar figure that we're going with on this particular, is this, I've heard the term, the amount of 1.1?
Under item B of the attachment, it's $677,000.
Plus other additional items, is there not like consulting fees?
That's the agreement. That includes the engineering contract.
That includes all costs? So 700,000 roughly?
$677,000.
Plus, on item Well, John, Solicitor Cox, why don't you answer, the question is from the citizen, what's the cost? This is an agenda item, an agreement for sewage. You had provided a copy of this to us. In addition to the 677, item number D, it says a cap-in fee of $200,000 to be paid by the county. John, you want to just address what the cost is?
Sure. There are four elements to the cost. There's the engineering fee of $77,000. There's $600,000 for construction costs, which would be the cost of building the aeration tank for the SBR unit. There's a tap-in fee of $200,000, and there's a monthly fee for the treatment of sewage once you start introducing sewage into the system. So those are the four things that are provided for in this agreement.
What was the last cost?
The monthly cost of introduction of sewage into the system.
What is that?
That's your sewer bill.
I know, I mean, how much? Is there an estimate on what that's?
Oh,
gonna be? No, we don't know that yet.
You didn't know that?
Okay, so.
But that's what you have everywhere where you
No,
have
it does
sewage.
say, it in there.
It says that you have
Said fee shall be-
150 EDUs. What?
Said fee shall be at the rate charge other customers serviced by DBTSA per EDU.
Right.
So what's the current charges that are assessed by the Dunbar Sewage Authority? And that's gonna be based on usage.
So, Commissioner Emerson, that price has gone up to $200,000 since you last spoke, because there's a tap-in fee. So we're at $877,000 plus whatever. I mean,
We didn't
I
know
like
what the tap-in fee was the last time.
It says right here.
It's in your resolution, I guess.
The
I
last
don't have
time
it.
we spoke that Mr. Kavanaugh was referring to, we didn't know what the tap-in fee was. We now know what it is.
5 minutes ago, he asked what the total was.
Please,
He said 677.
we're-
Okay.
So this is my final, I'm not going to belabor this, but we're at $877,000 and some change with the tap-in fee, plus whatever that is. Correct?
Solicitor,
It'd be 877 total.
could you, what's the item number E? It says customer, which is the county, shall install and maintain in continuous operation a device to screen and/or grind material generated from the facility as described in Exhibit B. But there's no Exhibit B. What's that cost, do you know?
I have no idea. That would be part of your plumbing and engineering for the building. That's something to keep people from flushing mattresses and tin cups and things like that.
That's the hardware of the project, the infrastructure. of it.
Right, that's something we'd have in our building, we would build.
Right.
Okay, and my last thing is, under Public Works, you have a consider approval for a watershed for cleanup of Jacobs Creek Park. I'm encouraged by that. The two parks that the county maintains, they have been in sorely need of maintenance. In the design process of this prison, you spent $200,000 on a potential women's facility over here at the old kindergarten center, and that was, you might as well went out front and had a bonfire with the $200,000 because it was wasted, and you said it's too expensive, but the consultant got the $200,000, I understand. You could have done a lot of cleanup and made some repairs and maybe had some facilities for the taxpayers to use for recreation. That would have been a nice idea, but rather than wasting $200,000 on something that you decided not to pursue. Those are my comments for today.
Thank you. Are there any other public comments on the agenda items? Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
I was at the last meeting, and the meeting that wasn't a meeting, and at that meeting, Brownsville Bus Company was here and to talk, and of course the meeting was canceled. At the last minute meeting, Mr. Zavatowski, you said you wanted to table about the bus company.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, there's nothing on the agenda
Well,
today.
what had happened, what had transpired was that Brownsville had contended that they were never informed of the intent to terminate the contract. There was some question as to who got the letters. They met with our director, Lori Gruber-Smith, and Kim Renzi, and came to an agreement that they were going to implement a new process, new training program to see if it fits the category of what they're supposed to provide. If they continue to violate any of the regulations set forth by the office, then they will proceed with the termination. That was basically what happened.
Well, the commissioners will need to act on that because the termination letter had already been approved and sent.
It would have
prior
to be
that
rescinded.
meeting.
Yes,
So it
ma'am.
would have to be, if that's what transpired after the meeting, then that needs to come back to the commissioners.
That is correct. It would have to be an item placed on the agenda to rescind. I didn't have a chance to speak with Lori yesterday, so again, the matter would have to remain in a state where it should have been on the agenda to table again, but it was not placed, so.
Okay, I was just wondering, I didn't want Brownsville to be pushed in under the
No,
rug.
ma'am, no, that was my concern. And again, Brownsville Bus Lines were saying that they did not receive the information. It was kind of a he said, she said. And there were some questions of whether or not they were informing them of complaints, and then the complaint being resolved. It was just a very poor lack of communication there.
Yes, I know he was here, I don't know who it was.
Jack Lauver was here.
Okay, because I know Frank, and it wasn't him.
No, Jack was Jack Lauver.
I'll also follow up with the director because, as you stated, you were present at the last meeting. Our county solicitor said that the office had followed all of the proper procedures at the time. That was Solicitor Hyde. So I'll follow up on that as well.
Can you please give us your name?
Oh, my name's Emma Jane Davis, and I have a tough time saying Brownsville because I'm so affiliated with Brownfield. So Brownsville,
Oh, okay.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
thank
Any
you.
other public comment on agenda items? Seeing none, we'll move to item 5, the Fayette County Redevelopment Authority. Consider adoption of a resolution approving the submission of an application requesting funding through the Emergency Solutions Grant Program, as well as execution of a cooperation agreement with the authority to administrate the program on behalf of the county.
Second, excuse me.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 6, the Assessment Office. Consider approval of the following for real estate tax exception, as he has been qualified as a 100% disabled veteran by the Veterans Administration of Pennsylvania, effective for the 2014 tax year. That's Louis G. Gastantino of 6 David Street in Brownsville, Pennsylvania.
I'll move.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Consider approval of a request by the City of Uniontown through the City of Uniontown Redevelopment Authority to exonerate the 2012 delinquent tax lien against parcel 38-10-0245.
I'll move.
It should say in the amount, is it 197.89 still?
Oh, yes.
John, you know? In the amount,
Yeah, I'm sorry, Commissioner, I thought the amount was about $200. I wasn't
it's
sure. on
according to the letter Lukesh gave us, it's 197.89. I think that should be in the resolution.
I concur. I'll readdress my motion to approve the request made by the City of Uniontown through the City of Uniontown Redevelopment Authority to exonerate 2012 delinquent taxes in the amount of $197. That be filed against parcel 38-10-0245.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Consider approval of the Fayette County Assessment Office to enter into an agreement with the James A. White, MAI, to conduct an appraisal on parcel 39-05-0002-01, a national envelope spirit portfolio facility located in Upper Tyrone Township. Appraisal fees are Phase 1, $2,000 for site inspection and preliminary analysis, and Phase 2, $4,250, completed report and first round of testimony.
Solicitor Cup, do you know whether or not the director, Bill Lukacs, director of the assessment office, Bill Lukacs, contacted any other appraisers in order to get additional,
I do not, I can't.
so we don't know if he just called one?
Yeah, my recollection is that this is a rather difficult type of organization to find somebody who will appraise it, because it's an industrial facility in a non-industrial park.
Understood, but I'm sure there's not just one in the surrounding counties. I just want to know whether or not he had sought out more than one.
I don't know the answer to that.
I'll make the motion.
Is it-
He was
there's
here
a-
he was here at the agenda.
Did he mention that he did?
No, he didn't, Commissioner. He did
Okay,
not.
I'll approve it subject that it met that it meets the requirements of the county code for the bidding thresholds. And you can just, you can check on that.
Is that a second?
No, I made the motion subject to it. Did you make a motion?
I made a
Commissioner
motion to accept
Zabrowski?
because, yes, you have half the funds and fees are being paid by another taxing body. Clearly, it's going to be under the threshold of bidding.
That's what I'm asking.
Again, because this has some level of expertise associated with it, I will in good faith agree Mr. Lukacs did his due diligence in securing this appraisal.
And did the other two taxing bodies agree to split this cost? You know? They did?
Yeah.
They did? Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Item 7, Behavioral Health Administration. Consider approving the agreements and modifications as listed.
I'll make the motion to approve the modifications and agreements as listed on the agenda.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Item 8, under the Bridge Department. Consider approval of a supplemental bridge inspection agreement for the NBIS bridge inspection and inventory project between Fayette County and M.J. McTish and Associates Incorporated, doing business as McTish, Kunkel and Associates Engineer. The estimated cost is $34,795.72 for additional inspection units, and non-professional costs for rigging and traffic control were added to the original agreement.
I spoke to Bill and he explained that we need to proceed with this. McTish is the contracted entity under the NBIS and does any and all the inspection work. We have a number of bridges that are in grave condition. So I'll make the motion.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Item number 9, under Children and Youth Services. Consider approval of a fiscal year 2013-14 purchase of service agreement between the County of Fayette through Fayette County Children and Youth Services and Fayette County Juvenile Probation Offices and Cornell Braxis Group Incorporated in Pittsburgh for placement and non-placement services on an as-needed basis for CYS and JPOU. Rates as follows.
Move.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Consider approval of the 2013-14 purchase of service agreements between the County of Fayette through Fayette County Children and Youth Services and Fayette County Juvenile Probation and Family First of McClellantown, PA, for in-home services on an as-needed basis for CYS and JPO families. Rates as follows.
Move.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Consider approval for a fiscal year 2013-14 purchase of service agreement between the County of Fayette through Fayette County Children and Youth Services and Fayette County Juvenile Probation Office and Arborell, Hartman Street, McKeesport, for residential providers including group homes setting on an as-needed basis. Rates as follows.
Move.
Second.
I move.
All those in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Consider approval of a fiscal year 2013-14 purchase of service agreements between the County of Fayette through Fayette County Children and Youth Services and Family Solutions of Pittsburgh, PA, for consultation, assessment, counseling, family preservation, and family reunification services for CYS consumers on an as-needed basis. Rates as follows.
Second.
All those in favor? Motion carries. Consider approval of the purchase of two Intel server systems with heat sinks and cooling fans from Vitalink Computers for a total cost of $16,500.
Move.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Consider approval of the appointment of a county resident, Matt Crutchman, to a 3-year term on the Fayette County Children and Youth Services Advisory Committee. The term shall expire on May 31st, 2017. The advisory.
I'll move.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item 10, Clerk of Courts, consider approval to enter into an agreement with the city to provide parking in the city's parking garage located on Gallatin Avenue at no cost to the employees. This would only be temporary until the lower lot has been repaired. The request is due to a recent loss of parking spaces in the lower lot and is being made through SEIU 668, which would ask the commissioners to consider the proposal to ensure the continuation of the past practice of providing parking for the county employees.
I had made the motion to advance this. Dominic was not at the meeting, so I didn't know what the position was of the item in the negotiations of the collective bargaining agreement. Dominic, can you?
Sure. I understand what the request is.
Can you stand up so folks can hear you maybe a little better?
I understand what the request is. Parking is not a item that is covered in the collective bargaining agreement. Parking is provided on a first come, first served basis. There is currently not enough parking for all the employees. It's employees that park down there are union and non-union, and so there's no designated.
So what is your recommendation on this?
Well,
recommend we
the county.
table or we reject it pending the CBA? I mean, what you because if we're going to provide parking for one office, then other offices will soon follow. I mean, then you're going to build up a cost that I don't know what that would be.
Right.
I mean, you talk to us.
Right. Currently, there's no. The county does not guarantee parking for any group other than the upper lot where there's designated spaces. The lower lot has never been a designated space area. So you're right. You would be setting a precedent, and it could be costly for the county to provide parking for all the county employees. We don't know how many may
Dominic,
drive to work now or get other transportation.
do you have a copy of the agenda?
Yes.
Okay, you see the second sentence here says, this would only be temporary until the lower lot has been repaired. Okay, so it's not, did you know that?
I heard that as part of the request, yes.
Mr. Carson, how long is it going to take for the lower, you don't have to go into a lot of detail. We all know that the lower lot.
I don't have much detail.
Okay, we know that the lower lot is in need of immediate repair because of sinkholes, things of that nature. Do you have an estimate on?
I'd hate to give an estimate time because it could be 6 months to a year. We're looking at doing some surveys down there, possibly even doing some core drilling, sample drilling to see why we're having sinkholes and why the problems
So
are.
there's preliminary work.
There's preliminary work needs to be
Even before
done.
the construction.
Yes.
Okay, and this request that's on the agenda is only during that period of time. Once the repairs are made, and they're not asking it to be included in the CBA or anything.
Not that I'm aware of.
Well, that's what I'm reading.
And we're-
We placed it on the, I mean, it says this would have, just ask them the questions. I'm not saying I'm going to support or not support it yet. I'm trying to get the information. It
It's
says
saying
the
it was
request
made
is-
through the SEIU, 660.
Well, yeah, they're making a request, but it says this would only be temporary until the lower lot has been repaired. This request is due to the recent loss of parking spaces in the lower lot. And then it says, and then it's just being, the reason it says it's being made through SEIU is because a request was made to place it on the agenda. Our chief clerk informed her that it wasn't going to be on the agenda unless she had it from a department head or an elected official. That's why it's under clerk of courts. We all got the same email. Clerk of courts said, well, I'm an elected official. I'll go ahead and place it on the agenda, and it's being requested through SEIU. But the point of all of this is that those groups of individuals are asking for the lot, for paid parking just for the temporary time, not to be included in the CBA agreement. Correct? Okay, thank
To
you.
my knowledge.
Thank you. And we don't have any, what's the status? Don't you have that later on the agenda?
Yes, there was a request permission to advertise for
An RFP for,
have
okay.
somebody come in and do the survey.
Now, I'm gonna, again, until there's additional information as to which direction we're going, how quickly we'll get there, I don't want to set a precedent, because we will be doing that. Subsequent other offices will be here next month, or actually it becomes a part of the CBA. It would be an addendum to the CBA.
We have one of two things to do. We either move to table or take no action.
Yeah, I'm gonna-
And I'm okay with not taking any action at this time.
And that's my position as well.
Thank you, Bob.
Yeah.
Under the item 11, controller. Financial condition of the county.
Okay, the general fund on June 17, 2014, the checking account at United Bank, $10,447,436.14. Funds owed to the general fund from temporary loans. Victim Witness Fund, $30,000. Children and Youth Fund, $2 million. Bond Fund, $1,886,466.78. Due to the general fund from ferry insurance policy, $9,796. ARC payments due, intermediate punishment fund 3 years, $40,651.26. Offender supervision fund 3 years, $87,758.28. Victim witness, $4,271.61. Records improvement, $2,325.32. And the Fredericktown Ferry, $5,054.04. Central service payments, C-17 fund, 2 years, $9,005. Offender supervision, 3 years, $39,369. Intermediate punishment, 3 years, $19,532. And victim witness fund, $10,780. Funds General Fund owes the tax anticipation note $7,380,000. The net position for the budget year $7,212,445.43. Total revenues for 2014, $18,755,904.84. Total 2014 expenditures, $11,946,837.58. Total 2013 expenditures paid in 2014, $1,120,484.47. Capital Reserve Fund balance is $234,349.87, and the bond fund balance is $210,531.61.
Thank you. I think it's important that we note the loan that we have to CYS. The state is in transition from fiscal years beginning July 1. So I think it's important that we follow up with, is it Harry up there, does the financial, to make sure he calls Harrisburg and finds out the status of that $2 million. Because that's starting to get a little high as we move into the last quarter. I don't want that thing at $4 million. And that's what we're destined if we want to receive some reimbursement.
I'll bring that to the controller's attention. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item number 12, Fayette County Office of Human and Community Services. Consider approving third-party sponsorship agreements for fiscal year 2014-15 with Fayette County Blind Association, Chestnut Ridge Counseling, Southwestern Pennsylvania Area Agency on Aging, St. Teresa Church, and Fayette County Behavioral Health Administration.
Move.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Consider approving a contract with Fayette County Community Action Agency for administration of food bank program for fiscal year 2014-15.
Move.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Consider approval of advertising agreements for fiscal year 2014-15 as listed.
Move.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Consider approving the following service agreements for fiscal year 2014-15
Move.
as listed.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Consider awarding bid number 14-04 to BNC Construction LLC from Champion, PA for $46,830.
Move.
Solicitor Cup, just yesterday, I believe there was your latest communication, you had some questions regarding you said that the issue is your questions pertain to the issues relating to the scope of work. Did you get those questions answered?
Well,
I know there's a motion, I'm not seconding it until you tell me.
I drafted an agreement that incorporated the program booklet and the drawings, which were very comprehensive. Now, as long as we, because they gave us a bare bones contract that I didn't think was appropriate. And that's why I drafted a revised contract that had the 148-page project manual and the 8 pages of drawings incorporated into it. Now, that covers our problem.
Well, and you had stated in your communication that you wanted
Who's going to do the
review.
inspection?
Yeah. Did you get the answer to that question?
I
And
get
is
the
it,
answer to that question.
and do you recommend approval at this time or not?
Well, inspections in that big booklet that were incorporated.
So although you didn't get the answer, you're saying it's addressed in that booklet,
It's addressed in that booklet, yes.
and the county's protected?
County's protected, we need to have somebody do it. We need to have somebody do the inspection.
Okay.
It provides for the inspection.
Okay, and who's going to do the inspection?
And we can hire them.
Okay, so that's been, okay, second.
All those in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Item number 13, Human Resources. Under Dominic. Good morning.
Under the Bridge Department, consider approving the hire of John Hall JOHNHALL.
I'm sorry, that name again? I call it John,
John Hall,
H-A-L-L, right?
yes.
Okay.
As a bridge worker 1, SEIU pay grade 6, step A, 1104. This will be effective June 30th, 2014.
This was a union position. Did we have any internal bids?
No, we did not.
Okay, how many individuals, do you recall how many individuals applied for this position?
We had approximately 10 applicants,
And how many were interviewed?
about 5.
About 5?
Yes.
And, did Bill, what's his last name?
Bill Arnold.
Bill Arnold,
Was
He-
accompanying me in the interviews.
and he is supportive of John Hall?
Yes.
I'll move.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Under Building and Grounds, consider ratifying the resignation of summer clerk Brad Wendell, effective May 16, 2014.
Move.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Under Fact, consider approving to hire Quentin Simpson as a Technician D service person, SEIU pay grade 2, step A, $9.69 per hour, effective June 23rd, 2014.
Were there any internal bids?
No, there were not.
And do you recall how many individuals were sent an application?
There were 5 that applied.
Okay, how many were interviewed, do you know, recall?
3 were called in for interviews.
Okay, and did Lori Grover Smith conduct the interviews with you, as well as, I think it was
Kim Renzi.
Kim Renzi?
No, actually, it was the,
There's the other
Technician
individual,
A,
yeah,
yeah.
who oversees the garage?
yes,
Okay,
he did.
okay, he was
yes.
there? Okay, and he's supportive of this individual as well?
Yes, he is.
I'll move.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Under the Human Resource Department, consider approving the collective bargaining agreement between the County of Fayette Board of Commissioners and prison employees represented by United Mine Workers of America for the period of January 1, 2014 through December 31st, 2016.
Have the employees have adopted the CBA?
Yes, the membership has voted to approve this.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Consider updating the county smoking policy to relocate the courthouse designated smoking area from the right outside of the employee entrance to next to the boiler house toward the parking lot. There's an area that was evaluated that would fit the carport. Currently, there's one handicap parking space there and some open area. Those handicap parking spaces are to be relocated to where the carport is currently at. And we may actually gain an additional parking space where the carport is located currently.
Okay, so the current policy that was adopted back in 2005,
Yeah,
and I'm only talking about the courthouse employee smoking area, because that's the item we're discussing right now, okay?
yeah.
That has already been determined through an approved, commissioner-approved policy, and it says, for the courthouse, a roofed and open-sided carport structure located outside the employee's entrance.
Correct.
So really, there's nothing to change, okay? It's already, John, you can, after I'm finished talking, weigh in on this part, okay? It's a carport, okay?
It's moving.
And if you just pick it up, and you're gonna move it over, I know where you're talking about, the boiler area, okay?
Right.
And there are, what, 2 or 3 handicap spots?
Two.
Yeah, there's 3 there now.
There's 3 there now,
And there will
okay?
be
So
2
you're,
after the move.
okay, so you want to just move those 3. They will still be in that general area, the upper parking lot, correct?
We'll still be able to keep 2 of those
Okay.
parking spaces there.
Okay. So you're just picking up the carport and moving it?
Yeah.
Okay, question for Bob Carson. That's the entrance to go down into the boiler. Your people go in and out of that building, not every day, or, I mean,
One goes in there daily.
okay, does that pose any problems for you in order to get equipment in and out? Because by moving the carport, you also are going to be moving the picnic table, which is fine, okay? But that's not going to be any issue, you'll be able to,
The way we're setting it up, we're going to use one parking space back there,
okay.
use some space that we don't use now, and it's going to allow, it's not going to block our.
Well,
Okay.
if I may, do you have any concern regarding your employees and them exhibiting disagreement with the relocation in the path that they travel daily? And
It's not going to limit their actions.
okay, I just want to make sure we
So-
avoid an ADA issue.
So given that it's a designated smoking area and it's already in our fully adopted policy, it says, you know, outside the employee's entrance, it's still outside the employee's entrance, you're just simply moving it. I don't think that we need to, well, there's no reason to amend the policy.
I agree,
Right.
it's
You got an administrative approval here.
just to
just to-
relocate it.
Yeah, Bob, pick it up, move it with the picnic table.
Well, there may be some efforts to relocate some handicap parking spaces closer to the building that may require some labor costs on Mr. Carson's part.
Okay, I mean, I'll support any initiative that will, assist our employees that have physical challenges that require us, handicap parking, trust me.
Handicap parking, you get some blue paint and a sign, right?
Yeah.
There you go. Okay.
Okay, thank you. So,
Now, okay, that's fine. So there's no action that needs to be taken on that. You have administrative approval to just, what we've already said.
okay, thank you. The next item,
Oh, and just so people know, okay, the reason this issue here was brought up is because we do have a smoking area in the back, and apparently there were some individuals who were, instead of standing under the smoke tent, as it's called, this open roof, they were, walking around, and smoke was going up in another office's window, and they didn't like it. So that's how the matter is going to be resolved. Enough said.
and the next item is to consider setting a distance away from entrances and exits for all county buildings and designated smoking areas. I recently saw, well, not recently, I've seen the proposed resolution from Solicitor Cup. My understanding is that proposal only listed the courthouse, but if you want to utilize that same proposal and just indicate for all county buildings.
Well,
Okay.
again, the policy, the smoking policy states, smoking, chewing, rubbing, or spitting of tobacco products shall be permitted within specifically established, quote, open-air areas connected to or in close proximity with each of the major county facilities. We already addressed the courthouse. The next one was the public service building, children and youth, Fayette County Behavioral Health Bridge Department and federal building, and all of them just designate outside the building. So again, it would have to update this particular policy. What I don't agree with, as proposed by Solicitor Cup, is you have on here that the Director of Building and Grounds shall have the authority and duty to designate the smoking area. We're the commissioners. If there's any questions about this from the public or from anyone else, it's going to rest on the commissioners, not the Director of Building and Grounds. Well, actually, you're Public Works now. So rather than being open-ended, what I would prefer is if, number one, we state a distance and pass it, or you come back and give us the designated areas. I don't think that this has to turn into a half an hour conversation. There's no, as far as I know, no basic state or federal regulation that actually designates a distance. Is that correct, Solicitor Cup?
Right.
If you look at other public offices and throughout Fayette County and other places, they designate a smoke-free zone, which is fine. And again, the reason we have this issue is because there have been, I've been a commissioner for a number of years, and I've probably had maybe 3 or 4 complaints from, and it's usually during juror time, that as they're walking through, you know, there's a ream of smoke. Also, I know the controller's office, I know Sean Lawley, former controller, had made a comment, and then people lean up against the area right above his door, his window, and you can smell the smoke. Actually, you can smell it coming into my office at times too. Kathy, I think you can smell it as well. So yes, there is a, is that correct, Kathy? Right. So yes, there is a need, you know, for everybody concerned to set out a designated area. But I don't think that it's, number one, right for the commissioners to just say, Bob Carson, you know, pick a zone. I think it's up to us, and then we can come up with a distance. I don't think it's that
Well,
difficult.
no.
Just say like 20 feet, 30 feet, something to that
If
nature.
I may interject, at the meeting, I had said there was I remember a federal something law, whatever, and so just now I looked it up. There was an executive order passed on this, and I'll give you the current GSA, General Service Administration, which operates all federal buildings, has it set at 30 feet.
Okay, that's for, so that's federal buildings.
Yeah.
Yeah, and ours is county buildings.
Right, yeah, I understand, but if you wanted
Yeah.
a distance that's commonly used, they use 30. And that's based on an executive order.
I would make a motion to amend the Fayette County Policy and Procedural Manual, policy number 5.7, listed under the designated smoking areas, to set a smoke-free zone of, guys, gonna be okay if I say 30 feet so we don't mess up this resolution?
That's fine.
Bill
Okay,
Clinton
30.
said 30 feet, I know that.
No.
That's who the executive order was passed by, I'm just joking.
30
And
feet.
Bush, too.
30 feet. A smoke-free zone, 30 feet from the public entrances. What?
The employee entrances also.
We've already addressed them. Public, okay,
At other buildings, there's,
both, okay, public and employee entrances. That's my motion.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
thank you.
Thank you.
Under information technology, consider placing on the agenda approving, I would just ask to table this motion for right now.
Make a motion to table.
Are you going to be bringing another name back to us next month? Is that why you want a table? Or if there's not going to, if this isn't going to occur, then we don't need a table, we just don't take any action and it goes off the agenda?
We did conduct an interview for this internship, but the intern is gathering some more information on his end as to whether he's accredited for the school.
Was that the young man that I met that one day?
Yeah.
Okay, he was,
I'll move the table, I'll second the table.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Under tax assessment, consider accepting the resignation of Assessor 1 Kelly Flynn, effective June 13, 2014.
Move.
second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Consider accepting the resignation of Assessor 2 Janie DeMarco, effective July 11, 2014.
Move.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Under Public Defender, consider accepting the resignation of Assistant Public Defender Charity Krupa, effective June 6, 2014.
Move. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Consider ratifying the hire of Robert Harper as an Assistant Public Defender, non-union, non-supervisory, pay grade 9.
Robert Harper.
Yes.
I'll move.
What's the effective date again?
Effective date, June 13, 2014.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Don't you have? Sorry.
Is that all?
Okay, item 14 under Juvenile Probation Office. Consider of approval to enter into an agreement with Emil D. Etheridge Sr. for instruction and materials of his program for presentation during regular JPO in-house 5-session competency development classes for $1,224.
Did you move?
Yeah.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. And item 15 under Public Works. Mr. Carson, would you like to?
Morning, Commissioner.
Morning.
Consider approval to enter into a lease extension agreement with Columbia Gas PA for 20 years for a regulated site in German Township at the same rate of $100 annually.
The only thing that is changed in this agreement is the term.
The term, that's correct.
Okay. Where is it in German?
They supplied a map, and I couldn't tell you, I couldn't give you a location in German Township.
Okay, but the lease agreement identifies the parcel.
Yeah, that's the parcel, the deed, and all that, but that's what it is.
Solicitor Cup, did you take a look at this?
Oh, well.
How long have we had the lease agreement?
It's 20 years old now.
Okay.
So the first term was 20 years. Okay, and this is an extension. Does it have, the first agreement that have any renewal dates and it did not address increases in?
It did not address increases.
Well, now
Should we not have asked for a somewhat of a, even if it's a slight increase?
That's your pleasure. I didn't know what to ask for, so I brought it to the commissioners.
Did you send that to us?
Yes.
Did you send it to us?
I have to go look at the email. I believe I did.
Yeah, $100
Whenever I
20 years
put it in
ago
for
is
the,
not $100 anymore.
I'm sorry?
Whenever I attached it, whenever I sent out the agenda issues, it was attached.
Did you speak, who did you speak with any representatives of the club? Oh, is there a representative? Oh, okay.
Oh, that's why you're smiling, shaking your head, and wondering what's going
Okay.
on.
How about some more money? No.
Well, no, I
Do you
think,
have a number in mind?
I mean, I would think that it's an application of a cost of living would be applicable.
Could you please provide us with like an area, where is this, remind us?
It's German Township.
Mm-hmm.
The regulator sites tend to be in areas that are not useful for anything else. So aside from identifying it by parcel, and I accompanied a
Yeah, that would be
copy of
good.
your
Could you do
original
that?
deed.
Yeah.
Correct. The parcel number is contained on the top left-hand side of the lease extension agreement.
Okay.
Copy of the deed. Whenever Fayette County originally acquired the property is also contained on there. This regulator is just to simply control the flow of natural gas as it's needed in that German Township area. It doesn't serve any kind of additional purpose for us other than making sure that in winter months, whenever additional gas is required, that you get the flow necessary, that people don't lose gas pressure
Okay,
in the winter
that
months.
raises the question. With gas drilling increasing in the county, you're going to need for it to flow some. Will there be, and is there in that agreement, the ability to expand that facility in any way, shape, or form? I mean, I don't know how big it is. I don't know if it's as big as a table or a chair or what it is.
The Public Utility Commission sets standards to the size of the area surrounded by the regulator. Regulator sizes are 20 feet by 20 feet based on the size of the regulator itself. Columbia Gas of PA is a regulated distribution company, so our rates and fees are designated by the PUC, and any cost incurred to Columbia is passed on to the ratepayers. So unless a leasee requests a specific dollar amount increase or requests specific, consideration payment, we always offer the original, lease renewal at its stated price.
Well, then my next question would be, what if you were putting that regulator in today, what would be the standard lease price?
Depending on, there's different factors on there depending on whether or not that regulator was required for new development. Let's say that your prison all of a sudden would need additional gas flow, and it would require us to install a gas regulator in order to make sure that you got the necessary gas. We obviously would have a different rate if we were doing that than if it was something internal to our needs in order to upgrade our system. This is just a German Township regulator. All it does is provide flow for German Township. It wouldn't be unusual to pay $200 annually if you could approve that amount, or if you want to provide a counteroffer. Either are not unusual.
And that's it says here 1994.
So it goes back further. Yeah, I gotta tell you, I just have, again, concerns because of, if it was being paid $100 in 1954, and that even really can, I mean,
Come on.
it doesn't cost a cent.
Should be a couple pounds.
So, I would ask that we table this subject to additional review and perhaps some further discussions with Columbia Gas. I mean,
When does this one expire?
it'd be the same type of lease, 20 years, so it'd be,
No, but,
oh.
yeah, I know that 20 years. I'm saying what month, because this is the month of, we're in June, okay? So
That
I,
regulator site will expire in November.
right, that's
Oh,
what
so
I was,
okay.
so I don't, that's what I'm looking at. It says here, beginning November 14th, 2014. So
Correct.
we can't just table this and just leave it go. I mean, we
No,
need
it
to
has
act
be a
on this.
decision, and the reason why we tried to do these regulator site renewals with enough advance notice, if there was some unknown need for Fayette County to retain that parcel and
Mhm.
therefore decline to renew the lease, we would need to have time in order to move that regulator so that we could in fact maintain gas.
Okay, let me ask you, okay, and we don't want to disrupt the service, that's not our point here either, but, reading this, it says, beginning November 14th, you need to take something back to your office. I would imagine that you have to get your approval, and if everything is the same other than the dollar amount, okay? Is there a threshold that you would have to go through, like PUC or anything?
The Public Utility Commission, if it, let's say, went up 5,000%.
Right.
Public Utility Commission would cause Columbia Gas to either come up with a reason why it was more economic for us to pay that amount than it would be to move it to another location. Because like I said, those costs, because of the way that they are standardized,
They're passed on to the
ratepayers.
consumer, yeah.
So, I mean, you can say, well, Fayette
Right.
County's getting $1 million for this lease. Well, Fayette County's gas rates will probably,
Would it be any,
I am quite certain that we're not making as much money as Columbia Gas.
Is there-
I'm not as disputing that, I'm just saying that they also have a governing body.
Right, so if it goes up a certain, that's why I asked, if it goes up a certain threshold, obviously you have to go through your PUC and other regulatory. So if we place this on the agenda for the July meeting, which would be the third Tuesday of July,
Okay.
and during that period of time, we contacted you and came up with a, a different dollar amount, that would, and this was passed in August, that would be okay with you? You'd still have sufficient time, right? As
Right.
long as we
just
stay
wouldn't
within
want
the...
it to go any longer than that. It's like if
I
it's a moving
know.
regulator site, there's
Okay.
quite a bit of
Can-
Okay, and do we have, are you Jacqueline White?
I am.
Okay, okay, you sent this to our chief clerk. So if we get a copy of this, we can just give you a call and have some discussion and then place it on the agenda.
Sure.
And if we talk with you between now and the third Tuesday of July, you would be able to give us an indication that it would be accepted or
I
not,
would,
right?
I'd have it approved, I'd revise the contract for you and make
Just-
sure that you had it.
Okay.
Would you also be able to provide us, as you said, the PUC sets some of the cost for these type of regulators?
Right, but there's not like a specific, 20 by 20 regulator should be paid at this rate.
So it's all negotiable?
It is.
All right.
Within, okay. Then I'm going to make a motion to table this and advance it to the July agenda, the July meeting, regular commissioners meeting. Okay?
I will do that. I'll second the motion.
All those in favor? Aye. Motion carries.
Consider approval for Jacob Street Watershed Association's Executive Director Patty Miller's request for permission to clean up at Jacob Street Park on Saturday, June 21st, 2014.
Move.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Motion
And
carries.
this is a yearly thing.
That is correct.
Mr. Carson, what is the status of the parks? We had a constituent here earlier that spoke of them being in bad condition. I spoke with Captain Al. I'm not aware of anything catastrophic. Have they been properly cut, or can you give us a?
We had some difficulty getting them properly cut between the time we purchased the mowers and they were delivered. We were releasing mowers on a daily basis through Fayette County, and we returned them on the weekends. We went back on a Monday to release them, release them again, and they were rented out, so we could not. We only had we were at one lining mower.
Masontown Park is being taken, we
Masontown Park
subcontracted
is-
that work out. So that's being taken care of.
So we've got our mowers, we're back to
Oh, okay,
full
very
mowers,
good.
and then the rain held us up a couple of days, and the staff at the bridge department was short during moving the voting machines in and out.
Well, did we get our influx of summer workers that
We have two.
traditionally get work
We
at the
have two
bridge
big workers
department
out there
help?
now.
Yes, okay, all right, very good.
I believe there are more to come.
I
But
hope.
with the bad weather we had through the winter, the pick workers were still in school.
Well, with the holidays soon approaching, those parks are gonna be heavily used, so.
And we've got some issues with some roofs need repaired. We're looking towards having somebody come in and take care of that. We were trying to do it in-house, and it's obvious we're not going to have the manpower to get that accomplished in a timely fashion. So those things, we've got some park committees that are taking a look. I've asked them if they had some people on their staff, on their committees, that were interested, had some skill sets to be able to do things like that.
All right, thank you, sir.
Consider approval to advertise for an RFP to have a structural engineer evaluate the concrete pads, soil substrate beneath the steel structure, and soil substrate beneath and steel structure of the parking area on the county-owned property along Penn Avenue, Uniontown, PA, and that spans Redstone Creek. This is the area that has been barricaded
Move.
off.
And second,
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Consider approval of the purchase of Winter maintenance equipment, the equipment is through the PA State Coast Guard's contract number 4400011404 from Fletcher Sales and Service, 315 Fletcher Lane, Greensburg, PA. That equipment would mount on the one tractor we bought for summer maintenance at the parks, but we want to use it for winter maintenance at the courthouse and the federal building plus public service building.
That was my first question, is to define what the winter maintenance equipment is. You just define that, and the second question is what's the cost?
That was it.
It's covered in the next item.
Well, but
It's
you have to
grant.
approve this one.
It's $12,500.
Okay, so it's approval of the purchase for $12,500, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, I will move to approve the purchase of the winter maintenance equipment for $12,500 under the Pennsylvania State Coast Guard's contract from Fletcher Sales and Service in Greensburg.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
During last winter's severity, we had multiple issues take place outside the courthouse. So we went back to P Corp, and this is what this was generally concerning. The P Corp Loss Prevention Grant application has been reviewed and approved by P Corp Underwriting and Claims Committee. The county applied for a matching grant of $12,500 to use for winter maintenance equipment at the courthouse, parking areas, and other local and in-town county-owned properties. During the winter maintenance months, due to the numerous snowstorms and an extended number of slip and fall accidents for employees, we've received a check for $12,500 for the grant. That's how fast this thing went through.
What you're reading, this isn't a resolution. That's just an explanation of what we just passed,
Okay.
right?
Yes.
Okay, because I read that 3 times and trying to figure out,
What am I trying to do, Ron?
well, it didn't specifically ask for something, so that's just an explanation, right?
Well,
Okay, so
yeah.
that's not an agenda.
And this is a matching grant. What we did is we used the tractor as a matching.
Understood.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bob.
Thanks, Mr. Carson.
Item 16, tax claim. Consider approval of a motion to accept the following bids from the June 3rd, 2014 depository cell bid opening. Excuse me, subject to all conditions being met
Move.
as listed.
Move.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Consider approval for attorney Davina Bird through the Mark Rowan law firm of Connellsville to conduct deed searches for the 266 parcels listed in the 2015 free and clear sale in the amount of $50 each for a total of $13,300.
And that was not, we did not do a request of legal advertising. She made calls, is that not correct? She called like those 3.
And she even went to the former Mr. Roskovinsky, and he was $5 higher.
I'll second.
All those in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Under the Veterans Affairs, consider approval for Madonna Nicolo and Glenn Seipel to attend the annual PSAC DVBA conference to be held in Wilkesboro, PA, the week of June 16th, 2014 through June 20th, 2014.
Move.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Under item 18, the Commissioners, consider approval of an allocation of to be determined from the Marcella Shell Legacy Fund to the Fayette County Agricultural Land Preservation Program.
Last year, we gave the Fayette County Agricultural Land Preservation Program out of our legacy funds $25,000. Representative Darrell Becker was present at that time, and for every dollar that the county gives, it's matched $1 for $1. I would like to make a motion to allocate from calendar year 2012 legacy fund the amount of, this is the balance that's left in this fund, $25,000 $896.63. That would be from the, so it would be approve an allocation of $25,896.63 from the 2012 Marcellus Shell Legacy Fund to the Fayette County Agricultural Land Preservation Program.
That's 12 legacy funds. Do we have an estimated amount for 13? We don't have anybody to answer that question.
What's your question?
The 13 legacy, do we receive that?
You want to know what the amount,
Yeah.
what the balance is?
Yeah. Do you have a?
Yeah, I do. Hold on a second. Well, about 114,000.
If I may ask, that, because as you see, we have some other items on the agenda that are also requesting funds, if we could table and have a chance to review some of the requests that have come in thus far and potentially some of the other requests. Like I said, there's one here that came from Ed Jeffries to me on an incubator type of thing with Masontown Borough that, I don't know, the Fay Penn request. So I would ask that we table pending a review of these.
What are you saying?
If I'm,
Well, there was a motion made. If there's no second,
Oh,
then
no.
it will die for lack of second.
well, okay, well, that's fine, but I mean, I just wanted in a cooperative spirit, just table the whole list, but okay, we'll just go that route.
Since there's no second to the motion, it will die for lack of second.
I'll make-
Actually, if I could just make a
Please,
comment.
go ahead.
Typically,
Chairman.
we have a meeting with the County Agricultural Land Preservation Board. We have not had an opportunity to do that as of yet. I'd rather meet with Mr. Becker and discuss his request prior to us setting a cost number for out of the potentially the available legacy fund.
Well, it's not potential because the amount is what I just said. But secondly, he did provide us with information. He provided all three of us with information.
Yeah, I spoke with him.
And he's-
Plus,
but
yeah,
he's
plus I
also
think-
he's also requested a meeting which we haven't had a chance to have yet.
I mean, I'm only saying, because I know there's other requests, and there's a limited amount of money in that pool, and I want, hopefully, everybody to get a little bit if we can and help folks out, but that's why I wanted to table. But, you know, it's up to you all. You want to proceed.
Are you on the next item?
I'm making a
Commissioner
motion to
Savage?
table.
What, the next item?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll second. There's a motion to, this is for the second item, approval of the 20,000 allocation from Act 13. That's a motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Consider approval of the April 15, 2014 regular commissioner meeting minutes.
Move.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Consider approval of an agreement with the Dunbar Borough Township Sanitary Authority to provide sewage treatment to the Fayette County Justice Rehabilitation Center as attached.
I'll move.
Second. All those in favor? Aye.
Nay.
Motion carries. Consider ratification of the following transfers as listed for total debits of $46,743.81.
Move.
Credits the same.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Kathy, for the Scott Dolan, that was the only letter we received, right? I didn't miss anything.
That was the only one.
Okay, I'll make a motion to appoint Scott Patrick Dolan to the Emergency Medical Service Board to serve the remaining term, the unexpired term, ending December 31st, 2014.
I'll second the motion of the credentials. You had one unbelievable credentials.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Is there any Any public announcements anyone have to make? Seeing none, is there any public comments? Yes, Mr. Mazza.
First.
I read in the newspaper, you believe that the zoning was approved for the prison. You need to understand the resolution for the special exceptions has not been done as yet. After the resolution is passed, any objector can file a land use appeal within 30 days to the Court of Common Pleas. I just thought you ought to know that.
We appreciate that information.
Another thing I want to talk about is over a year ago, I made a comment about the World War II memorial that sits out front, and about how the only cleanup it gets is from volunteers. And Mr. Zabatowski, you told me that you was going to see that that was taken care of.
And I thought it was, sir.
Well, it hasn't been
I
because,
will walk up there right after the meeting, sir.
well, it hasn't been taken care of. I got a call yesterday that a group, small group, took 13 bags of garbage out of there, and they didn't get it all. They said they got tired. They said even the garbage pail, the garbage can, was full. Said had never been emptied, hadn't been emptied.
Are those our cans or that's city cans? I mean, Mr. Carson, I just would like you to interject, because are you...
To my knowledge, the cans are ours. We empty them at least once a week.
Okay, well, I'll talk to Mr. Carson and walk up there and take a look at it. You're more than welcome
Well,
to join me.
I was told there's still garbage in there, and if you recall, I asked that maybe a sign should be put up about, maybe there'd be a penalty for anybody caught throwing garbage in there, because that's what they do. They throw all their garbage in behind the bushes and whatnot. Now, I helped one year clean that up, and I know how much garbage comes out of there. And Ed Green, thank God, he did a really nice job of landscaping there, and it's all going to pot because of the inconsiderate people that don't seem to realize that that's a war memorial.
I agree.
Mr. Mazza, there should be either an agreement or a memorandum of understanding, and we can check on that, because whenever the committee had approached the commissioners to designate that area for that memorial, I remember the number of individuals who were involved. They did meet with the commissioners at that time, and I'm doing this part here from memory. I thought that we may have passed a resolution, but even if we didn't pass a resolution, gave approval in another manner, there may either be a memorandum of understanding or an agreement that is attached to a resolution. I know Joe T. Joseph at the time was on the committee, and there was another individual, and I can't think of his name right now. I think there were two individuals who headed that committee. I can't think of it. That's who it was, yeah, okay. So we could check. Yeah, check that.
Check from Carnesville, can't remember his last name.
Chuck, the baton march, Chuck Thompson, something like
What?
Chuck Thomas, and
No.
Chuck Thompson.
Now, Chuck had served he served on the Veterans Liaison Committee, right? That one?
Yeah,
That's Chester. Chuck?
No, there was a Chuck
Regardless.
before.
Well,
his relative used to be on Carnesville radio. I can't think of his last name. It's on my mind.
we may have an older
Big,
file.
great, he's a big, heavy guy, walked with a cane.
Yeah.
I can't
Oh, that's
remember
That's
his last
That's
Chester
Chester
Cranky.
Cranky. That's Chester
name. Yeah, my
Cranky.
understanding was, like you said, there may be an agreement. My understanding was, and from what Joe T. told me, was that the idea was that the county would keep the the place decent, you know.
It's
Well,
part
we
part of
can,
the landscape of the county.
we can pull that and, I know like with the flower, we can pull that and check.
But to my knowledge, it's always been, I mean, the only time it gets cleaned is when people go up there and clean it.
Well, we'll check with our building and grounds or public works department. We do have summer people, and Mr. Carson just said that the garbage is emptied once a week. We'll follow up on that most definitely.
I still think it'd be nice if there was a sign there saying that there was gonna be some kind of a penalty if you get caught throwing garbage in there or something. I mean, it won't deter everybody, but it'll deter some people.
Mr. Cup, can we set a punitive ordinance?
Well, there's a statute that penalizes littering. All you
So
have to
does
do is
that
put the
apply to
sign
that,
that
the applicable
Right.
littering laws?
And put the statute section
Okay.
on it, and then cite people if they violate.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Any other public comments?
Just,
Yes.
I just wanted to real quickly thank the three commissioners regarding the smoking policy. And you may or may not know, doing your due diligence, as Angela likes to say, I had a heart transplant 7 years ago, Angela, and I want to thank you particularly for putting the 30 feet out there. That's a very important issue for people who have illnesses. Secondhand smoke, through my experience, causes many health hazards. And I want to thank the three of you, especially the 30 feet. If it was me, I'd have no smoking. But the 30 feet is a start. So thank you, Angela, for that, and the other two commissioners for approving it. I appreciate it very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, you're welcome. Any other public comments? Yes, ma'am, Green? Yes.
I just would like to ask if we could have more agendas, because I've come to several meetings and there aren't. So I don't think our paper is.
All you need to do is, and I do apologize, one of our,
I made the second bunch today,
yeah, if you need another agenda, just ask for Kathy or Mary.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Sure. Any other comments?
Mr. Jones?
Fine, just real quick, I just want to know if I can approach. This is something that my wife Catherine wanted me to present to all of you. Just like I say real quick, she is running for office. She is running for the Pennsylvania State Representative for the 51st Legislative District under the Green Party. And that was already been approved a couple weeks ago she was nominated by the Green Party to do so. And this is her press release, which she's been handing out, and she wanted me to give a copy of each of you if you wanted, or if not, so be it. But she just wanted me to make that announcement. And so all her information is on this release. So if you like coffee, it's
Sure,
worth it.
Thanks, Mr. Jones.
Thank you, sir. Are there any other public comments? Yes, Mrs. Madison.
I just wanted to ask you, have you gotten a GE report yet on that property you're thinking of buying?
The geological survey?
Yeah.
I believe it has been submitted to the engineering firm, yes.
You got a copy of it?
I do not personally have a copy of it, no.
How can we see a copy of it?
As soon as I get it, I'll forward it. I'll have it available to you.
Because I know you said until you get that report, it's just a sale pending. You're not going to buy the property until
Well,
you
it's
get
part
the
of
report.
it's part of the due diligence. Yes, Mary Beth?
Do I have to stand up or can I just?
You can.
I'll
just
stand.
stand up.
Okay, right.
Okay, I was just going to ask the same thing. If Commissioners, there are like the February special meeting, I read the minutes last night online, and the geotechnical survey was referenced, and I believe you requested a copy in February. Have you read that yet? Have you seen a copy of that geotechnical survey? Does it have any, like, issues with pyrite, sinkholes, or wetlands? Does it?
The one that was referenced, the one that was referenced at that February meeting was the one that was, the Commissioner Ambrosini said was provided. There were a few residents at the meeting.
Right.
And they asked for copies.
Right.
Okay.
Did you ever see
That's
it?
yeah.
Well, that was provided
That
to
was-
the people
okay.
who asked for it.
Did you ask me a question? Can I finish answering the question?
Yeah, I asked
Okay, you
the
asked me whether or not I saw that, right?
Yes.
Okay. The answer to that question is yes. That was the geo report that was provided through Fayette County, provided that to Commissioner Ambrosini back in December. And that was for a particular study, and that was when another individual was looking at that site. It was Universal Wells. That's the
Right.
study that I've seen. I don't believe, and you can ask Commissioner Ambrosini, that's not the study he's referring to now, or Mrs. Mazza.
Is there a
There should be, and he mentioned that before, and one for this particular
Correct,
site.
with the drill hole, or you
Yeah,
drill,
yeah.
the zoning.
Well, I didn't see it because he just said that he doesn't have it. Yeah, that one, no.
So you don't know what they found in that soil sample, so to speak?
Not specifically.
Well, pyrite, probably.
Not specifically. I don't know what specifically the report says. I can tell you that the report, whatever it says, it will result in just an engineering solution to prepare the property for a building.
Do you know the name of the companies that's doing the geological survey? Commissioner Anderson?
I don't recall the name. They're on Route 51, not too far from here.
Musi, Walter, is that Musi, is that the one? I'm only going to use the 51.
Well, I don't know. If it's complete, I mean, I can make I'll make a communication with Crabtree and Associates for copy. Not to say that I will get it, but I will make the request for it, and hopefully I can get it. If he says it's done, then it should be available.
And then has the FAA replied yet to the jail issue via email, to your knowledge?
No, not yet.
No?
I believe they have like 45 days. to
Oh, okay.
respond.
And just out of curiosity, do you know if Mr. Lasky's property has flooded with all this rain? I remember he spoke at the meeting in February.
Yeah,
Has it happened since, or has he been safe?
I don't know,
You
ma'am.
don't know. And then Dr. Havana couldn't be here today and asked me to ask regarding the Sheepskin Trail, that the issue in Point Marion with free flow power, they had to change their plans because they didn't know the Sheepskin Trail was there. And the Sheepskin Trail, part of it is to be at the Dunbar site. It's not created yet, but it's planned. That Sheepskin Trail is to connect to the Sheepskin Trail. It's going to go through Smithfield or Point
Yeah, it's got to
Marion.
get through Spring Hill.
Right, they eventually
Township
wanted
first.
to connect it all, so that's
Yeah.
on your property for the jail. So are you going to perhaps have to change your plans because of that Sheepskin Trail on 60, whatever acres, I forgot what, 68 acres would be purchased from Dunbar? I mean, is that going to affect the new jail, the Sheepskin Trail?
I don't
But
believe so.
it's not, is that section of the trail done?
Well, it's going to be though. I mean, it's
a part of the overall.
Sure, it's on there. It's
Start
on the
and
design plan.
yeah.
I mean-
It's also supposed to come straight through Union
Yeah.
too.
But could that potentially, like it did this group, they
Yeah,
have,
Mary Beth, you just mentioned free flow power.
yeah.
What's that have anything to do with?
Well, at Sheepskin Trail, they had to stop their progress because they didn't know the Sheepskin Trail was there. So everything's
And
changing.
where is theirs?
Point Marion.
Point Marion. It was in the paper
Yeah.
recently. I
Last
really-
week.
I just wondered
And
if,
I have a no, I can't remember his first name. I think Mr. Jones, Councilman Ryan, I had met on a couple of occasions. I put a call in to talk to him, just out of curiosity. I'm not making that
Right,
comparison, but just out of
Because it
curiosity.
had to have gone through the Fayette County zoning, whatever this thing was, and
And then,
I mean.
So in other words, is Evelyn's question whether or not, since the sheepskin trail, we all know where it's
Correct.
one end of the Fayette
Right.
County to another. Since the article said that the group in Point Marion will be
Changing their plan.
looking at the site location and possibly changing it so it does not interfere with the sheepskin trail in the Point Marion area.
Yes.
So your question, as I understand it, is will the county consider that for down on the Dunbar Township
Yes, her
site?
concern was just to me to ask to get out
I
the
think that
sheepskin
was
trail in Dunbar.
I believe that was addressed, and you can pull the transcript at the zoning hearing board.
It was.
Okay, it was, right.
It was.
That, they had parties sitting there. I don't remember the
Okay.
exact response, but I thought Evelyn was at that zoning hearing board.
No, I don't remember.
Yes, she was.
Yes, she was.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
basically, to find out the answer to that
Look at
question,
that.
of what the engineer and the representative from, for the architect, is to maybe pull the transcript and find out. I think that they said that it wasn't an issue, but
Okay.
They said they weren't even aware that the trail
that
was by there.
existed, right. So I
Right.
think the best thing to do is to answer that question, is to see, the question was posed either by one of the zoning hearing board members and or the attorney that was present. And I know that they went back and forth on that, and so the statements.
Mary
were-
Beth, if you don't mind, I'll call Donna Holdorf, and she's active with the trail, and after the meeting, and find out
Okay.
and relay the information.
Yeah,
to
I
you.
just-
Okay.
Because that just stuck in my head from the Dunbar plan, and I was talking to her, and she just
I'll
said
call,
that.
Donna Holdorf knows more about the trail than anybody. She's the trail leader.
If I recall, I think one of the resolutions of the zoning hearing board, when they had the meeting, they indicated that a berm be built between the bike trail and
Oh, okay.
the Justice Center to basically provide a fence or a mask.
And then just one final, financial question. I recall when Controller Lawley was here, I think for the March meeting, he said so far this year, out-of-county rentals have cost us approximately $270,000. So you divide that by 3, you get 67 and 68,000 a month. And yet in print last week, Commissioner Orsini, you're saying for each month we delay it costs 200,000 out-of-county rentals. Now, that's just an outrageous amount when it's clearly under 100,000. Where do you get your
The out-of-county
data for
rentals
200?
is not the full cost of delaying this project. First of all, that out-of-county rentals doesn't include transportation costs to send inmates
But it only
to the
co-
7 different counties that we send people to as far away as Centre County, which is State College. It doesn't include additional cost of medical costs that we
You can
pay for,
provide that.
including medical transport costs. I mean,
Medical
I recall signing an invoice for nearly $1,000 just a month ago to transport an inmate from Butler or Beaver back here. So, and it doesn't include, those costs don't include the inefficiencies that we currently experience in our existing facility. We currently are utilizing a facility that was designed 125 years ago,
Yeah,
and we are keeping 3 times as many inmates in there than it was originally designed. So and that's not to even talk about the risks and liabilities that we're experiencing. So, yeah.
So you're saying
So your view of the $67,000 or $70,000 a month is just a small part of our cost of not having
So if I
an
go to the controller's office,
appropriate facility And it doesn't certainly include any mitigation, rehabilitation, and recidivism reductions, and just
They're
the
getting
health
rehab.
of
There's
the
nothing.
health of the community.
So if I go to the controller's office and do a right to know, I will see totals, I will see figures totaling 200,000 a month being spent.
No, they don't have to.
Not in a direct PO.
I mean-
no. I mean, you'll see an example of somewhere in here, 3 weeks of food service cost. Well, 1 week times 3, it was $7,000 per week for food service costs.
Out of county. Out of county.
No, it's the cost that we provide in,
Right.
because we couldn't, nobody would take our food service. We had to get a company the only company that bid was a company from Louisiana, and the only first party that we could find out anything about whether they were a good provider or not was in Virginia. So it's hard to get even people to bid things here. I mean, I'm just saying, so it wouldn't be in a specific market.
But my concern is the continual bombardment in the press of the comment due to the delays, as though the citizens are delaying your prison. Your inefficiencies and not prior planning are delaying the prison. People are not stopping you from digging or breaking. It's your problems that you've encountered, yet in print it always like, for every month we delay, it's $200,000. It's not our fault. I mean,
No, it isn't.
And
It
it's
is-
presented as such. For each month the project is delayed, the county spends average $200,000. Now, that's not
So
our fault.
are you telling me we should expedite the construction of this new facility? Is
I'm
that
just
what I'm
saying,
hearing?
why in the heck, after how much time, you spent $1.5 million for nothing? Nothing, you have nothing to show for $1.5 million.
No, we have a.
Oh, you have a plan, you have design, you have
we an
architectural drawings.
design of the
Yes,
facility.
right, which
Well,
may have to be
We have to
moved.
pay for that, that's.
Yeah, but
that's
it's
the
like,
process.
you've wasted $2 million, and you're still, you're
We've
gonna
not
break.
wasted $2 million,
Okay.
we're moving
You're moving
forward with this
right.
project.
And it's still gonna
And-
break ground by just at the end of summer, which is 2 months. And it's still gonna open in December 2015. And here it is almost July. So
That's the plan.
that's the plan. They'll never say, and what about the women's annex? Is it still gonna be at the jail, at the airport? Is there still a possible women's annex?
We determined that the cost of renovating any facility in the time.
Would
it's
not be a
gonna take us
return on
to-
your investment.
Yeah, it would be more costly than what we could get returned, so we chose not to go that direction. We chose to just continue with our, the new facility and try to get it erected as quickly as possible.
And how much did you spend to decide not to put them at the airport? Was there a cost incurred in that one? The evaluation of the airport hangars?
Yeah, I'm sure there is a cost,
So
but it's.
just like Iowa Street, all that was just for naught. And same with the red hangars at the airport. You paid for them.
Planning is a cost, but it's a small cost compared to, the project itself, just like the Joe. I mean, the cheapest dollars in any project you can spend is planning dollars. So if, you have an option, you can either plan or you can just make a decision to go forward, but that's never a cost-effective way to do anything.
We didn't
The
plan that.
more planning you do, the least cost of actually executing the project itself will cost. And those are standard.
There's a gentleman here that says that what is that, preparation, planning? Yeah.
So you had all this time and still nothing.
And also, I want to give you a quick, I texted Donna Holdorf, and she had stated that the jail would be in close proximity, but actually that section will be built as a part of the construction project, so it will actually aid in
The trail.
The trail, yeah.
Okay.
That came from Donna Holdorf.
Are there any other public comments.
Question. Didn't you say at the last commissioners meeting at the court, in the courtroom, that you never considered putting the woman's annex in the hangar up at the airport? The subject came up, somebody brought it up and asked you about it, and you said you never said that.
I did not say that. I said we were looking at
Didn't
other.
you just
I
say
think it
now
was in
that?
print. I think it was in print maybe too, yeah. Yeah, you just said
No.
they,
Didn't he just now say that he considered Iowa Street in the hangar?
We
And
considered.
you better start writing down what you say so you know what you're saying.
Mrs. Mazza, here's what I said. After the Iowa Street project was determined that it was not cost effective, I said we were going to look at other county facilities around the county to see if there was any land there or property. In the airport, obviously, was a facility. There are vacant buildings on that facility that we can that we did consider. And obviously, even though that's a lot less expensive to use one of the vacant.
hangars.
Well, it's not a hangar.
Warehouse. Well, it depends on the size.
It was a
Hangar
warehouse.
Yeah.
Well, also,
Even at that, it still was not cost effective, so we.
There were photos in the
we-
Herald of it.
Yeah,
if I may,
you had photos in the paper that this is what you were considering, and now you're saying you never considered it.
No, I said we did. I just said we did.
if I may, the warden also took the action of utilizing the third floor exclusively for women that allowed us to have a higher intake.
Of the current jail?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
the third floor.
Yeah.
I don't know, if there was male prisoners up there previously, I don't know.
Are there any other public comments? Yes.
I just wanted to give you the proposal that the Fayette County Farm Bureau put forth to allocate the $10,000 that you all proposed to give to Farm Bureau. And these are the projects that they came up with, and I'll just give you a brief summary. I did email them to you, but I wanted to present them in writing. We chose to work with organizations within Fayette County that are providing non-farmers education about farming. So there's several projects in here, and none of them are, they're like for 4-H has a program in which they go into Little Highland School, Uniontown School, and Brownsville School, and they taught teachers how to incubate eggs and raise chicks. So they taught them about embryology. They also taught them how to grow plants. There's several different projects in here that I wanted to just go over real quick.
So they're adding to their curriculum, i.e. making farming.
Right, part of their educational program at the schooling. One of the programs is called Acres for Adventure. This is just for an example. It's for 3rd and 5th graders. It's to promote agricultural literacy and develop understanding. It's hands-on programs. They make these kits. They have science activities, and it's a 30-minute activity, requires minimal preparation, and we would be providing, this one here, they would be growing a plant, the Acres of Education. So they would grow a plant, and they show them how to grow their own vegetables and sustain a garden. Embryology is the one I mentioned about the chicks. They did that for 4th graders. Currently, they did it this past year. They had about 250 7th graders and 4th graders at Uniontown, Brownsville, and Laurel Highlands Middle School. And so what we would be doing is paying for their projects to go out there and educate children about farming. That's how we wanted to allocate the money. They have day camps and after-school camps in which they're, again, promoting agriculture. And it's for 4-H opportunities, but it's specifically for children who are not 4-H members at this time, who do not have a farming background. The other one that we looked into and we hope to be able to help if we ever get this approved is Rebecca Hilton, which is the manager of Elm and Main Street programs. And she has a program called Grow on Your Own. It's the urban version of a book called Summer's Roof Program. And literally she grows a garden all summer. And they actually take those products and sell them at the farmer's market and teach people how to grow their own vegetables and eat healthy. Again, it's non-farmers. And she uses, there's 3 city parks in which she grows these gardens on. I have to go look at these locations, but she said it's on Lincoln, Prospect, and Collins. That she has city gardens in which she would be doing this. And then Lafayette School and East End Community Center is also where she's projecting to do those. So that's her money there. The other projects that we looked into are through Farm Bureau, but they are to outreaches to teach people about agriculture. One of them is called a workshop detail, and what it is it's for teachers to go to Penn State. They spend a week up there and they learn about projects about agriculture in which they can bring back to their students and perform in the schools, and they actually get credit towards their licensing for doing the projects and attending that 1 week. And during that time, usually us, the local Farm Bureaus sponsor the teachers that would go up there so that they don't have any out-of-pocket expenses in doing that. The other one's the Mobile Ag Lab, which is actually already booked to come to the Fayette County Fair, so you guys can see it there. But it's a lab setting where they're able to do hands-on experiments, and it's a full schedule. It's aimed at different grades of kids, and I put in here the different levels that they have and the different projects. But it actually, the huge RV that comes to the school and parks itself there for a week, it fulfills the teachers' requirements for some of the projects that they have to have throughout the year, and it's completely funded by Farm Bureau and whoever sponsors it to come to that school. So we would like to sponsor that to come to some of our local schools. And like I said, it will be at the Fayette County Fair this year, so you'll get to see it there. And that's it.
You provided all of that to
Right, in the email.
all of us, yeah.
Right.
And are those are hard copies?
These are hard copies, I just brought in case you wanted them.
And just so you know, I did send you an email on this, but, and I think you responded back.
Right.
But I did make a motion to place it on the agenda
Okay.
for May.
Mhm.
It was seconded and approved. Then when we went to
Right.
our May meeting, the chief clerk said that she inadvertently forgot to place it on the agenda.
Okay.
Actually, it should have been on the agenda this time here too.
That's okay.
And I was going to raise the issue when we got to that item number, but because there was a request to table everything,
Right.
I figured don't even say anything, that'll be tabled too. But every motion that it needs to advance to the next one,
Right.
whenever we.
Like I said, if you want a hard copy, I have it.
I don't need it. If
Okay.
you have extra ones for
I just made
whomever.
it for the board and everybody.
Yeah,
so
you gave
I
it to
have
me in an email. All those programs, you just went over them. They are all good programs, and they do fall under you know, last year we had
Right.
that issue. Okay, all of those programs do fall under the
Okay.
impact.
So
So I mean,
that's
I
what
would
we want to
support
make
that.
sure of. The
Yeah.
board voted on all of these, and we're also open to any other projects if somebody knows of some. I've reached out to the Girl Scouts and the Boy Scouts and every organization I can think of to, you know, if they have a program in which involves some type of farming,
Mhm.
that we would be willing to help them sponsor.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Susan, in addition, I appreciate your efforts to find all these educational programs. I mean, the fact of the matter is, Fayette County, our number one industry in Fayette County is still agriculture. And it's very, very important to make sure that our young people get educated in terms of, the farming processes and procedures, and especially the young people who live on farms.
Right.
We need them to stay there and continue the tradition. A lot of our farms are over 200 years old in Fayette County, and it's crucial that we maintain that industry. And there's hopefully as we go, as we move along with economic development in Fayette County, we can enhance the agricultural industry to even create additional jobs for people in Fayette County. So,
Well, I think, and not to interrupt you, but I think it goes hand in hand. And on Facebook yesterday, there was an article that I've been trying to promote within the farmers on the other side of this, not only the non-farmers. There's a gentleman who left his farm over $4 million of an estate to his local county. And there are some contributions we as farmers need to give back to the county. He happened to be a gentleman who had no family, no children, and the woman he was about to marry at the age of 58 actually suddenly passed away. So when she had done that, he made the resolution to give the farm back to the county 4-H actually, and then dispense it. And the total value was $4 million, which the county gained from that one farmer. So there's a lot of things we can contribute both ways, and I hope to integrate that on both sides and not just farmers over here and non-farmers over here.
Well, again, I know how much time and effort you put in these programs and your efforts in the farming community. And certainly the county and other agencies will be more than happy to help with those efforts to not only educate our kids, but help the farming community in general. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Doctor.
Any other public comments? Seeing none, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
All those in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you all. And a belated happy Father's Day to you all.